Mr. Barr appointed you special counsel, is that correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Trump has called Mr. Barr a gutless pig, a coward, and a rhino. Which of those is correct, which isn't?
In my experience, none of those are correct.
So Mr. Trump isn't that good of an expert on character and judging people. In your opinion, he isn't, because he's none of those. He's not a gutless pig, but Trump says he is.
Yeah. That's outside the scope of my report.
Also outside the scope of your report, apparently. Also outside of the scope of your report was apparently the meeting at Trump Tower between the Russians and the Trump boys, where they talked about allegedly adoptions, but we know it was really about sanctions. How was that outside of your report?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't quite follow that.
Meeting at the Trump Tower, Russian attorney came to Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. was just wonderful, wonderful. We love it. We love it. Russian decisions to interact with the Trump campaign and influence the actions of the campaign, allegedly for adoption law, but really for sanctions relief. The FBI came up with that, did they not?
A meeting took place at Trump Towers on June 9th. The lure, as I understand it, was that there was information, derogatory information on Clinton that was going to be provided. They met, and as I believe in a HIPSI report, the HIPSI report fully laid that out, that the discussion then at Trump Towers was about adoption, not about anything relating to Mrs. Clinton.
It was totally about sanctions. You're trying to get rid of the Magnitsky Law. Adoptions is a ruse. Should you not have looked into that and seen what the Russians were wanting in return for that? Because that's the biggest thing Putin wanted at the time, was to get Trump to relieve his people of Magnitsky sanctions.
I think that Director Mueller investigated that, and I believe one of your House committees explored that. That was outside the scope of what we were looking at.
And it was outside the scope of your authority to look at Klimnik and Manafort meeting and exchanging polling data?
Was that out? I'm sorry, I'm not following your question.
Manafort. You remember Manafort, the crook that managed the campaign for nothing but got tons of money from different Russian people over the years that y'all pardoned? Mr. Barr later helped him with the commutation or a pardon, I think a pardon. Manafort.
I know who Mr. Manafort is.
Yeah. He met with Klimnik, and they discussed polling data. You don't know about that?
No, that Mr. Klimnik met with a lot of people, including people.
He met with Manafort and discussed polling data. Do you not know about that?
I'm aware of that.
All right. Why did you then not think it was a good idea for you to look into it and see if the FBI wasn't correct in that there was collusion, a connection between Russia and the Trump campaign to elect Trump?
My assignment was to look at the conduct of the intelligence community agencies, not to conduct some separate investigation that was done by the House or that's done by the Senate or was done by Director Mueller.
You don't think that if the intelligence communities, the FBI, and others came up with this information and did good work, that should be part of your balanced report?
Yeah, well, I'm not following your question. I apologize.
Well, I've tried to follow your report. Mr. Donald Trump Jr. would have called it a nothing burger. Mm-hmm. You got no convictions. You got nothing. It was all set up to hurt the Mueller report, which was correct and was redacted, to hurt the Bidens, and to help Trump. And you were a part of it. You have a good reputation. You had a good reputation. That's why the two Democrats supported you. But the longer you hold on to Mr. Barr and this report that Mr. Barr gave you as special counsel, your reputation will be damaged. As everybody's reputation who gets involved with Donald Trump is damaged, he's damaged goods. There's no good dealing with him because you will end up on the bottom of a pyre. I yield back the balance of my time.
Sure.
Can we presume the gentleman's undecided on how he feels about the former president?
Yeah. Gentlemen, witness can respond.
Yeah, my concern about my reputation is with the people who I respect and my family and my Lord. And I'm perfectly comfortable with my reputation with them, sir.
Well said. God bless you.